Don't see nothing my brother feel. All right, we're in business now. Salam, salam. How you guys doing? I see 28 of y'all. Share. And then on the bottom, I'm gonna attach my YouTube my YouTube channel. I want you guys to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube. Help me out. I got like 75 people or something, and then I'll be able to go live off YouTube. What's today's topic? Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Today's topic is Hgdef versus opposition. Let me put the title in. Share Gabor, my people, look down, hit share. We don't have that many on right now. The robot. Adeye. Boom, 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 boom. Share the body, lay, wate. Video, cool, my love, cool. What's behind me? Eritrea? If the science won't let me go there, I'll just bloop, appear in Eritrea. The science, you don't want to let me go to Eritrea? Cool. I'm in Eritrea now. Edemka Eritrea, honey. And your money body was the truth. Boom, 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 boom. Share. The opposition, when these people be talking all that bad nonsense and division and separation, you guys be having them at like 1,000, 2,000 viewers. You know what I mean? We don't share. The good people, for some reason, we don't share well. But I can't complain. Thanks to you guys. One can't complain. At least 40, 50,000 people over here in my messages. That's power. That's good stuff. There you go. Now we have 40. Okay, I see your where you're writing. Good evening, Salamawi. Hi, Tirhaswalu. Welcome, my Tigray sister. Nakhlat. Helen, Salam, Halan. Leon, what's up, brother? Helen Gezagane. Meron Gaito. Phil. Oh, you put my YouTube on the bottom. Appreciate you, Uncle Phil. G'day, Maharaj. Salam. Adeye. Thank you, Theron. Gabriel Johannes, my brother. I like your show too, man. Smart man. It's Tuyum or Tuyum? Tuyum. Smoker Banks. How you doing, Smoker Banks? Yo did Michael. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Zenash, David Christos, John Mahari, Salam Yahwate, Salam Zahwate, Yahwate. I don't know. Trying. All right, we got enough people in here. I wanted to get like 155 started, but guess they'll catch up, Mish. Whatever. If you're on, hit share. Because I'm zooming through YouTube, Facebook, and Zoom. I'm trying to get savvy with this stuff for my peoples. For the English speakers today, we probably gonna have a good session. Thank you, Mr. Yamane Baria. Much appreciated. Let me get out of here real quick. How you guys doing, brothers and sisters? Kamalahum. Hi, Adiam Hafte, Kamalahi, Laila, Amaniel Hafte, Phil Geb, Kamalahum, Tahandalahum. So let me do my part in sharing, Kani, before we start. Some of the things that I want to talk about today is Hgdef versus opposition. And you know what? There's a lot of some of the younger kids were asking me. They're like, "Hey, Dawid, why don't you explain to us what Hgdef is, what opposition?" For the ones that don't know, the ones that are like straddling the fence, they're like, "Explain to us what Hgdef is, what opposition is, and why we even have to choose one, or can't we just be a regular Habesha citizen and not have to worry about none of that?" I'm like, absolutely. That's the plan. The plan is never worry about having to pick a team or a side or nonsense. Is in I now abeti zajamaru adam is still affecting us. Even till now, it's still affecting us. Jabha, Shabia, Huzbo Gumba, there's a whole nonsense. Nonsense kubloy deline kmas gubomim natna martyrs hayal ti nerum din. At the end of the day, in their hasib kumlu, can the bahansab zuhonu nerum, mis TPLF tahara giza, EPLF nijabhat outsatamish. So and these are the remnants. These are the things that we're dealing with now technically, because what ends up happening, hold on, so let me turn this down. What ends up happening is you have EPLF later on, Shabia, whatever you guys want to call it, becoming or Huzbal Gumbar becoming some of the Huzbal Gumbar EPLF left are opposition now, and then you got some that are switched over to Hgdef or maintain their Hgdefawi is what I would like to call them. And I want to explain why that is relevant in today's conversation for my and then I'll add some in Tigrina for those who probably want to only do it in Tigrina or whatever. So starting off, let's talk about why is it important to understand what any of these there's people that are listening to me now that are like, bro, I didn't even know there was such things. I was raised here in America. I never paid attention to any of that. I just thought it'll work itself out. I just knew, where I was from, and I didn't really care. I didn't care what other people. As long as it didn't affect me, I didn't care. And that's okay if you're young, but technically, Khani, that's not okay. Reason why that's not okay, and I made it a point to learn, is because you need to know who you are. You need to know where you're from. You need to know why you're in America, why you're in Germany, why you're in Sweden, Canada. You need to know why. Why are your parents, why did they leave Eritrea, and why did they come to the United States, right? Why did your parents leave Ethiopia and come to the United States? Why? Right? If it's the motherland, and it's such, the motherland, Africa, Hometown, is such a great place to be. Why are we here? How come Why? Why did we leave? Why are we not back there? Why did our parents make it a point to leave? That's the first thing you need to ask yourself. Slamtai, Kadna, Slamtai, Kab Adi, Tasedina, Matsina. Why? What if our country is so great? It's awesome. Why? These are questions you need to ask your parents, especially you white PFDJ or PFDJ supporters and all that. Go to your mom and dad and be like, why did you come to America? Answer me truthfully, right? Okay. Then you got people like that claim to be opposition. They claim to be this, they claim to be that, but then they're really working on behalf of Hgdef, but they infiltrate the opposition to benefit Hgdef. that kind of tariq, that kind of stuff you got to deal with. Okay, but let's go back to why. So we all know, there was a war in Adi. We all know that, against Ethiopia, Derg, the Derg. Who ran the Derg? Who was the Derg? Was Haile Selassie the Derg? Probably not. Mengistu was the Derg, right? Who's still alive, by the way. He got amnesty in a different African country. So, we know all this. And then they had Badame, which Isaias brought us into war in Badame. These are things that we all know and people have different opinions on and this and that. But let's take it even a step further. Let's talk about, I always talk about psychological subversion. I always talk about psychological subversion. I talk about how do you fool the people into supporting you? How do you do that? Do me a favor. There's 70 of you. Hit the share button. I want to get to like 300 if possible. Please, I'm asking you. Well, we got to ask ourselves, many because when I say Team Freedom, we're here. How do you know I'm speaking the truth? You have to ask yourself this. Don't believe, listen, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see, even if it's spat by me. Ask, why is this guy coming here talking? What is Dawit's Captain Eritrea's agenda? Right? This is called critical thinking. Anyways, you have to ask yourself, why are they spending all this time explaining? Why would they do that? Why would Dawit, Captain Eritrea, genuinely come here and speak to you guys and wait? I could go be doing something else. I could go be working out, play basketball, boxing, skydiving. I got a lot of things that I would love to do that instead of coming here, Mish. But why am I here? This is called critical thinking. These are the things you have to ask yourself. I need you guys to share. Okay, this is critical thinking. This is called critical thinking. Now let's have our discussion. Okay, so I'm not the only media guy that comes out. Where were you? Why are you all of a sudden here to liflif Allah? Kullu zahalafe bare mahalifu abainaka. Maybe call hanere. You know what I mean? Abainaka. Abainaka sajima sihat zara. Isulo hutot mish. You guys can hear me good, mish. I'm not sounding all echoey or nothing, mish. If you guys can hear me good, just write yes, please. I can see it. If you can hear me good, say yes. It's delayed. All right. I don't know. Just write yes. Okay. Oh, thank you. So yeah. Why Captain Eritrea? How did he get all this following? How did he get this power? Why? What do you want, Captain Eritrea? Well, let me tell you something. My family to Amtinerum got 70s, late 70s. Hadam Tiboluna, whatever you want to call us, ELF in Nerum. So who's Bagumbar and TPLF, Jabhaya Hanmar, whatever, that whole history. So we left. We left because we wanted to survive. Abu Enere, Isaias, he was after my family, or most of us, our families. So we left. That's a fact. That's a fact. Everybody knows that. Okay. Now just remember, I said EPLF and TPLF. Who's EPLF? Eritrawi. Who's TPLF? Tagaru. government. Mangisti malati mish. Just remember that. Okay. Remember that. And this dates back to when? Back then. Not now, back then. Okay. Which means they were best friends and they were not enemies. They worked together to liberate Eritrea and Ethiopia from the dirt, right? They were really close. Okay. And they taught each other some stuff. This is factual. Okay. Right, Teddy Ross? So now we got that part. So I that. أبوي طعامي نرو جبهة نرو أديهاني طعامي كله أنا مسقطهم طعامتي ألوه هني هجدف زنبرو. There was many Hgdefawi in America or in opposition. It's always been going back and forth. But you know what the problem was? You want to know what the problem was? The problem was instead of focusing on Isaias and Eritrea, the opposition and the Degefti were focusing on each other. That's why we didn't get no change. That's why we're in the position we're in now. That's why Loti Imetsin. Buhomu Naget, Loti Metsin. Silka Nenherom Kukalasu, Achiaba Gerom, is he organization is they make an organization, it breaks, they create one, it breaks, they turn against each other, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, Loti Naberin. The whole time Isaias was doing this. Life is good. I get to destroy this country. Nobody's going to stop me because they can't get along. Mish, this is all facts. Of San Diego, Holana, Hgdef, or Sha'biya at the time, in Jabha, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, no change, back and forth, no change, backstab, 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 no change. Jabha becoming Sha'biya, Sha'biya becoming Jabha, blah, 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 blah. No lot. In time, battle, zero. So it's a new way of thinking. In the new way of thinking, we're going to move forward, Mish. But to move forward, Yawate, my family, Mish, to move forward, what do you have to have? You have to have knowledge and wisdom. You have to know your history. And you need to know it. For you English-speaking youngins and all that, you need to know your history. Who are you? Are you EPLF? That's okay. Are you Jabhat? That's okay. Are you who's Bagumbar? Are you whatever? It doesn't matter who you are. But you need to know who you are, where you came from, and why you're in America or Germany or Sweden or France. You need to know. Is your Degefti, like the ones that support Hgdef? First question you should ask your parents if there's Hgdefawi, why did you come to America? Did you finish your civil service, your military service in Sawa and brought me here? That can't be true, mom and dad. Kamegaru. Nahanako lifetime servitude, you miss? Susa holakas kamegara what's 21, Salasa, and at 21, 30, how'd you leave Sawa? How'd you leave Eritrea? Why? And if you support Isaias Afwerki so much, well, why don't you go back? These are the questions you have to ask your parents. Ask them. Then you can learn what Hgdefawi really means. Okay, now we covered that topic. Now let's move forward. Let's talk about Eritrea. Everybody talks about, so you talk about Tigrawi. Tigrawi is what he always talks about Tigrawi. Okay, cool. You want Eritrea? Not only do I have Eritrea behind me, I'm going to tell you about Eritrea. Mish, since you want to know about Eritrea. Okay. Let's talk about Eritrea. How do you manipulate? Kamegaru manipulate you go his B. Let's talk about that, right? Okay. The first step to manipulate Kugobrokum Kolo, social media. Comes that's why wala Dawit Kazarab Kolo, Hototu why. Right? When someone's on social media talking, ask why. What's Dawit's maksad? Why is Dawit on social media? Taideri. Ashahad khoflu walo. Minalbat khoflu walo ni Dawit. Many ging khaflani opposition. Bemen saldi. Alom this the opposition. Adam, it wasn't cool to be opposition. Today, ilokum tahawik jumure. Kakatsula emishilokum, mish, akatsil, haji everybody to sit, kula alam to see ilomish, farihom, katamfusiha alum. Hgdefawi, yiblulo. Gin, confront to beat your enemy, you must understand your enemy. Enemy natkum, ansarkum zahon, in yaksaruhankum, katasna walokum. تميلك تصنعه دفيت كتقبرو خلقها تم تصنعه أبعي زخيل أبعي زبلع نمني ززارب انتهي زقبر أفتبت رخيستان كتشأنيوهم كلهم انتهي مزقبرو مش هقدفاوي تفطوهم يخم بعينهم تريوخ مزيلو يزريكا تفطوهم يخم جيم كتر الدقوام عليكم كما يتحسابات هقدفاوي ديخا because بلا لكاب عدخا هقدفاوي ديخا because سبكا حيزولو تي dictator هقدفاوي ديخا سلاسة ميتي أبزي ميديا كتزارب سديرونكا هقدفاوي ديخا أبزي تحاتي نداويت كتعرفو بفيك اكاونت سدخادلو انتا إنات كمخسب هقدفاوي كومي غير كومي كم تصنعوهم كزاربوهم كلو critical questions حتوتو أتا انتا هن أنصار السايس تزارب. Why do you talk against the science? Why not? Okay, mom, dad, uncle, sister, cousin, friend, mish. What is the definition of a dictator? Someone who took power by force with no legal election, period. You cannot argue this. How can you argue this? كما يقولوا السب زي أخم لزاخل ثلاثة عامت بحاليز وسدوس كما يقولوا السب dictator أخونك بكا خلي. So it is said, did you go for a dictator, the person that supports a dictator, right? Anybody that supports a dictator either has a mental issue or is an extremist or has something to gain. That's it. There's nothing more, nothing less to it. Okay, moving forward. Social media. How do you manipulate Hizbi? How do you manipulate the people? Let me tell you. People are only as good as their circumstances. Mr. Amun, movie go. If it's comfortable, they will go to it. So you know what you do? You hold a soccer tournament. Hizbi Eritreawi soccer tournament this year, up Oakland, up Atlanta, up Los Angeles, San Diego. Hizbi Eritreawi, Guayla Deliu, Mas Deliu, Anistikhri Deliu. They want to see girls, they want to dance, they want to do this, they want to do that. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to go to the tournament. But guess who's eating off those tournaments? When you pay $20 entrance fees times 10,000 people, when you go to the hotel rooms and rent them out, when you go to the guaylas, who's many makhsabs alo? Hgdef, right? Hgdef. Whenever you saw opposition trying to create an event, they send people to destroy that event. At the event opposition to get them, you said do sub kafrusu at the event. Komi T.R.A.P. So today's discussion is Hgdef versus opposition. Mish? Okay. Have you ever known a person to say their opposition, their Ansar Isaias and the people of Eritrea need freedom? يقولوا مش كلنا نفضل بحرية تقوم قال مست زي تسمعهم or maybe قال زي فتو or highly سئينهم لعل درجة خبص هو بتتقام تيهم times go أولي نإسايس support يقبرو so هات تقرم كم يقرأ كحجة opposition نركز تقرأ خمسية إريتريا إثيوبيا بلا بلا تمنك حجة تتقويها pro إسايس because cadre صح agent because you flip-flop. 1 second you're this, 1 second you're that. You're only as good as your circumstances when it only benefits you. If you agree with me, thumbs up, Habuni. Okay. Thumbs up, Habuni, if you agree with me. Facts. Let's get thumbs up. I want to see it. Okay. Anyhow, so moving forward. Donation to Hapkum. You sell ulkum solduhum, they're taking your money. That's what Hgdef does. And the ones that are here giving me thumbs down, because I'm costing them money. That's why Brian could go bruni so any Dawit can kaflaka ina gruhuro goes zaraba blah 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 you bruni mish thumbs up. Thank you. Now Hgdef versus opposition. Study psychological subversion. Ilokum kadam. Psychological subversion psychological subversion in the meaning of it can make them Chinese and Russian ka use go ruwa Hgdef tactics na size China that's how they use their tactics They come at you at all angles. Okay. Techniques alone. When they get the young kids, they teach them as a young age. To be Eritrean is to worship Isaias. Has nothing to do with the bandera, has nothing. Ne Isaias, lion, ambassa, iblu hangola mu'alu, tanqolo hane kam zambi, yuqyaru, Hgdef rahim faltu. The harai shiguri rahmu, because to natum questions answer kugabarait khalniha. See to shigur dolo brainwash go bro hangol. But many zahasawa salasa ahmed, who's been lying to us for 30 years. Everybody share. Look down and share. Many zahasura lo for salasa ahmed, many zahasawa. Okay, let's talk about that. First thing we're going to talk about, Mish. First thing we're going to talk about. Abalotum Eritrean prisoners. You want to talk about Eritrea? Let's talk about Eritrea. Okay? Abalotum Eritrawi prisoners. Abalo. Where are the Eritrean prisoners? Where? Somebody tell me, where are they? Where are they? Abalo. Abeit afi'on. How come no one ever wants to explain that? Mish. Hada Sab'ai, his name was, here, let me explain something to you. I'll show you something real quick. Okay, who's lying for 30 years? On July 12th, 1995, Mish Zikrokum Mahabar massacre. Zikrokum Mahabar massacre. Mish Mahabar massacre. Okay. Itiom Tavogium Novaru, Sarawit, Matsiom, protest gerum. Sade Habana, Domoz Habana, Yebelnan, Emina, Acha Ananilum. Don't act like you forgot this. Come to us. Oh, don't act like that. Nufalta inamish. Okay. Mankatiluam. Who killed? You want to talk about Eritrea, Mish? Let's talk about Eritrea. Eritrawi nimen Eritrawi katilu. Isaias iluam inta imdalium. Sade Habana, Tahasina ina, Kasarahain Khaninat Amina. Sarawit Eritrean Tigeromom. Sarawit Eritrea Hama Ebene. Hgdefawi. DIA Tigeromom. Anybody remember that? We will never forget. Mishmeb Qatilom Om. Bit'id Garum. Tick 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 Kulam Qatil. Aserte Gala Kulters. However it was. Qatilom Om. You want to talk about Eritrea? Let's talk about Eritrea. Mish? Okay. Since you talk about Ntaha, Zabat Tigray, peace Nigbar, Hawatinatival. Okay, let's go Nigdafo. Okay, you want to talk about Eritrea? Let's talk about Eritrea. So, explain to me. Truth. My Habar massacre? Facts. Manhasyu. Isaias Saforki, Hgdef. Facts. Gin? Eritrawi, Hebe, Alam Kaifata, Hebe, Mish. Am I lying? No, I'm not. Okay. Now, let's talk about Abalotem Eritrean prisoners. Mish, since you guys want to talk about Eritrea, Abalotem Eritrean prisoners. Let's talk about General Betwelde Abraha. But iti bizaba saraye kologaza gadasi konengin bohomoch zarabe kurida okum. Isu saraye rumish. Okay. Minister Haile Waldet Anase Deryu Akologazai Neru. Minister Petro Solomon Hamasani Neru. As yom silom be aura jach كبأسز وعلو حماسة والله خلوز وعلو زياتهم. Okay, Celestium different aura jain Romish Celestium kaani ta asirom. You think Isaias you could do show you about aura ja Hamasya you could so much lokum I could do so new. Ziom Celeste Saraye Okologaza and Hamasyanim. Isaias don't care if you Saraye Okologaza Hama, he don't care. If you're not Ethiopian, he don't care. Since you want to talk about Eritrea, where are they? General Betwelde, how many years to Asiru? 28 plus years he was in prison. Still, Mish, is he out? Somebody tell me, what's Idu? Is he out? So now let's talk about the truth in who's lying. Mish, since everybody wants to do factual can. Kullu soz wa'alu. Ta'asiru duneru bitwal da Abraha. General bitwal da Abraha. Away. Ta'asiru. Man asiru. Isaias Forki. Hgdef. Minister Haile Woldit Anase. Away. Ta'asiru. Man asiru. Opposition hijik nogruhum kala khamzi. They're telling you the truth. When opposition tells you these facts, they're telling you the people I just mentioned are all imprisoned by Isaias 40, generals and all that, right? To include the G15 and all that. Okay. But as Hgdef, they would denounce it. They will act like Isaias 40 is not doing anything bad. But I'm telling you the truth. I'm not making this up. I can't make this up. People, I'm telling you, this is the history of Eritrea. Since you want to talk about Eritrea. See, you didn't want me to talk about Eritrea. You should have just left me alone. But since you all want to call me, Mish, and you want to say, let's worry about our home first. Let's clean Eritrea first. Why don't we worry about Eritrea first? Let's clean up our garbage first, Mish. Okay, I'm with you. Let's clean our garbage first. Let's start with the government and Hgdef, since you want to clean our garbage first. Since our garbage went into Tigray, did our garbage went into Tigray? It did. Garbage. Now let's talk about Minister Petro Solomon. Hamasin. Mana asiru. Hgdef will lie. Opposition will tell you the truth. Isaias and Hgdef asiru. Mish. Lies versus truth. Okay. Now, let's talk about the 369 Eritrean victims of Lampedusa tragedy. Mish, let's talk about them, not them tragedy. After Bahari Atom Moitom, right? Do we remember that? We do remember that. Lampedusa, yeah, I think it's Lampedusa. Yeah. After Bahari Musmotu, what did Eri News say? In Thailand, Eri News, when all those people drowned after ocean, entire Eri News, Somebody tell me. Do you guys remember? Anybody remember that? Okay, 105, not bad. All right. It took 369 victims of Lampedusa Musmotu. It haftinat any size never when she gave birth under the ocean. You want to talk about Eritrea, Mish? Let's talk about Eritrea. Remember Haftina, she gave birth under the ocean. Walidat hati alai sahaba Mish Lampedusa. Okay. Celeste meeting Susan Tishaatin Eritrawi Moitom. Opposition, Nagirukum. Hgdef, Hasiu. Isaias, Hasiu. In Tailu, those were, this is what he said, African immigrants yam nerom. Komilu. This is the news of Eritrea news. They said these were African immigrants that died in the ocean. A disclaimer to make it seem like they're not Eritrean. Okay. But after they protest, after people protested, what happened? When they were on the boat and they drowned, instead of referencing them as Eritreans, they try to blame America. Kamgalagerum, Hgdef, Isaias try to blame America. Again, facts, opposition. Hgdef, Hasot, lying to you. Don't believe me? Look it up. While you're looking it up, ask yourself, why is Dawi talking? Why is Captain Eritrea here talking? Why? What is his game? Every person that speaks on social media, what is their game? Ask them, what is your game? Why are you talking? What do you gain? What am I gaining from telling you this? Because I'm sick and tired of my people dying. I'm sick. Yahlani. Dekere motulo. Kofila eri onion no more. Kazarebe sigab zuhumam. Kazarebe. Does that make sense? That's why Dawood's talking. Okay. Now, and then Eritrean government, Hgdef, facts. They said, Mandohiri Luomi, who told them to leave? If they didn't leave, they wouldn't have died. Why would Eritreans leave Eritrea? Big question mark. Bing! Mish, why does Eritreans leave Eritrea? Why? Why would they leave Eritrea? Because the living conditions are bad? Because you're forced into Sawa? Because the military force beats you? Because you're starving? I don't know. Someone tell me. Why are all Hgdef outside Eritrea? Someone tell me. Fact versus lies. I'm not making this up. I have nothing to gain. I was born in Eritrea, but I lived here. I have a good life and I'm successful. Why do I need to lie? No reason to lie. Ask yourself, what's their gain? Because at the end of the day, they try to say that the majority, why did they leave? They left because they wanted to. No one told them to leave. Just like the Air Force One, Isaias. Why did they fly into Ethiopia and seek political asylum? Why? You have to ask like a kid. Why, mom? Why, dad? Why, mom? You're Hgdef. Why? But why? They'll give up. So they're paying us. That's how I'm buying you these ramen noodles. 300 a month. Leave us alone. Oh my God. I got to make you guys laugh too, because that's what it is. All right. So anyways, why age 17 military service of Sawa to why? Why do they have to serve Sawa at age 17? Why is there mandatory military service? Why? And if it's mandatory, Khani, why does Eritrean police and military have a shoot to kill policy for people trying to leave the country? In her harimum, why? Truth versus lies. Hgdef versus opposition. So right now, everything I told you, what have you seen, my brothers and sisters? Let's do the scale. Mish, so far, 0 for Hgdef, 100 for opposition. I don't care who you think you are, because the truth is the truth and it hurts. It doesn't make you less Eritrean for knowing the truth and speaking the truth. In fact, it makes you more Eritrean. Eritreawi khoinkum, hak in tazaribkum, Eritreawi is gobrokum. Silkum do gifkum hasikum kut'umakum Hgdef kut'umor, nesais kut'umor, nebandera khamzakhamzak tublu. So hasot na hasotism. Hasot fathi ayamtsin. Nafsuhum aythasu. Hak nagar tazaribkum, fatahot nagar. Hijit opposition tublu, Allah wusti, zekhonkum, fatakumina. Aytahasu. Wutsu. Iti grass cut gernaya ina. Kulu tataman kurian khalina. Kublo khalo yiriyam izallahu. Babahare. Yasna'akum. Kab arame kama nafte radar tawalli inaru. That's why Hgdefawi read تمتن حبلك فتاكا خمزاجر زي Hgdefawi. Okay, moving right along. Why, if a person's educated, if a person has a degree, why are they jailed? In her muhur koinu slam ta'im za asru. Because he's a direct threat to who? He's a threat to who? Threat to Isaias Afwerki, threat to his regime. Okay, that why asru? In her musician koinu, music in her south koinu, slam ta'i isar, slam ta'i yikatluwa. Abraham Afwerki, he drowned, mish? He drowned? He's one of the best swimmers in the world, but he drowned, mish? Okay, harai. Opposition versus Hgdef. So far, when you ask Hgdef or Eritrea, what happened to Abraham Afwerki? Best swimmer Eritrea has ever had, mish? Oh, he died. How? He drowned. Okay. Hgdef versus opposition. Truth, right? Truth, opposition versus lies, Hgdef. Facts. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will talk about my brother Joshua. Who was Joshua? Mish? Who was Joshua? Fisahaye Yohannes, aka Joshua. Salatkum Abeti, you remember who Joshua was. There's 120 of you guys. Look down, share Gabaru, subscribe to my YouTube. And I can go live through YouTube, Facebook. Hgdef and Facebook. Abu Sarrohom Tatalo. What 17 Fatakina, Anafataki. Nakasaka Alana. Don't worry. Nimatsalana. Bukhulu ina nimatsalana. Bukhulu. Give me about 2 weeks, Kani. Surprise, Alanahum. I'll be surprised. Huge surprise. Kame highly team freedoms alo khoriukum himnatam abeti them youngsters. Dawile katriyukum kunde highly low. You'll see. I have a surprise for you. Big surprise, but I'm not going to tell you yet. You'll tune in. Again, share that's all I ask you, because is he dimsina na opposition ka kasama alo. Is yam silong viewers, you know why? Because Eritreawi, we love drama. Drama, the Young and the Restless, you miss the Simpsons. I don't even think to do good for me. I just get so warm. I think present. Highly opposition. Opposition malas team freedom. Team that's not. You'll see. I have a big surprise for you. Challenges go to Malati. Okay, anyways, back to Mr. Joshua Yohannes. Mr. Fisahaye Yohannes, aka Joshua. When the war was over, Isaias Afwerki took power without an election. But election power was highly. He promised the people a constitution and a freedom of speech and free election. This is comes he promised atiulo malati. Again, highly muswasere, none of that came about. Truth versus lies. Mish Hgdef, lies. Opposition to T.R.A.P, truth. Why are people T.R.A.P? Mis acholom. Seb mis acholom. Enough mis bele. T.R.A.P hon. Duk adu mis taharadu. T.R.A.P hon. Have to. Adiu mis tamet. Kreacha alen. Nihit emya. Opposition hon. T.R.A.P hon. Kom izumat silsa. Okay, so Isaias promised freedom of speech and free elections. None of that happened. Hara Arku Neru named Joshua to Kurupte Yezovo Neru. He had a friend named Joshua that was his battle buddy in war, and he started paying attention. He was like, I'm not feeling how this is going. Okay, so Joshua played it. He had music, he had plays, he had a circus to help the people and create a better nation. That's what he had. But the problem was sometimes in his plays and shows, he would have slight jabs at his size and how the government was running, but he would do it through artistic articulation. Isaias wasn't paying attention, but he knew he was there. He knew he was a formidable opponent. He knew that, but he kept him in the back burner. Okay. Now, let's talk about when Eritrea fought Ethiopia in 1998, 2 years later, he jailed all the wounded soldiers. Isaias jail gerwum because they complained about the living conditions. We need better conditions. He jailed them all. He arrested them all. Then, what did Isaias do? He closed down the only independent human rights organization in Eritrea. This is the start of an oppression people have never seen. He closed down the only independent human rights. This way, no one can challenge him. Okay. Then he dismissed the Constitution. The Constitution grateful. And then he indefinitely, he closed and stopped the political parties and elections. And he said, he made this decision by himself, Eritrea is not ready for a democracy. That's what he said. Eritrea is not ready for a democracy. He made this decision all on his own. All these millions of people are not ready for democracy because he's the father of who? He's 100% Ethiopian, but he's making decisions for all Eritreans. You wanted to talk about Eritrea, Mr. Hwate? Let's talk about Eritrea. That's what you want? Let's talk about Eritrea. Let's talk about our dirty laundry, Mish. You should have just left it alone. But since you want Eritrea, I can bring in Eritrea. I can go for years talking about Eritrea. Every part of it. Every part of it. Anyways, he didn't want external witnesses. So what did he do? He closed all organizations and media. Well, as luck would have it, Mr. Joshua was also a media guy. And he was good at it. Mish and his scientists knew that. Okay. Now, he banned imports, even though the people were starving. He banned all imports. He knew that the imports are evil. And then, when America was focused on something else, what did he do? He jailed all his cabinet members for asking for reform. All the people that were with him, he jailed all of them. Cabinet G15 because they wanted reform. He knew they were going to remove him. So what did he do? He jailed them. Now, opposition versus Hgdef. Mish? Okay. Opposition is telling the truth. Hgdef is going to lie about that. And if it's a lie, then why is Mesmun Hago somewhere else? Why is all his cabinet members arrested for treason? Is that a lie? It's true. So all the people that supported Sias Porky, where you at? You want to talk about Eritrea? Okay, let's talk about Eritrea. Where you at? Where you at now? Tell me, where you at? Anyways, he finally caught up to Joshua when he was done. When there was no way out of Eritrea, he focused on Joshua. And Joshua was a journalist. Out of the 18 journalists, he imprisoned all 18 journalists. All of them. Mish, Hgdef, Hasawi, opposition, Haq Inagarizara. Since you wanted history lessons and all that, there you have it, Mish. But again, don't listen to Dawit. Dawit just researches like you. I have the ability to research like you. So I have something for you. Let me show you this. Since you want to talk about 30 years of lying and defends goal was alone in size, okay, defend him. That's okay. Your job is to defend your king, Mish. Well, defend him. As you defend him, that's my job too, right? At the screen kite of it.
Because, amongst many other things, Joshua was also co-founder and journalist at the most popular independent weekly magazine, Set It. Joshua surrendered voluntarily to the authorities when his colleagues were arrested. 18 journalists were imprisoned, and for years to come, nobody would know anything about these people. Now, little by little, we're starting to find out.
Joshua.
Professor Hai Johannes, Joshua, a former hero of the struggle for liberation, who lost his first wife and his brother fighting beside him in the trenches, passed away on January the 11th of 2007. He died while in custody. He had gone from jail to jail, isolated, incommunicado, tortured, living in inhuman conditions. You went to prison for no reason. Accused of treason.
I get him.
He had been, for example, in the underground prison of Dongolo. In this prison, prisoners are chained to the wall by their feet and permanently manacled.
Hgdef.
Cells are 1.5 meters long by 1.5 wide.
Kam kalbi.
From the tops of each of these holes hangs a light bulb that is never turned off. Prisoners are constantly bitten by insects, sleeping on the ground.
Chinese torture.
Contact with other prisoners or guards is strictly forbidden. So Joshua's only communications were the interrogation sessions that two colonels conducted with him, ripping his fingernails out in the process. By the time of his death,
Eritrea.
after 5.5 years of imprisonment and torture, Joshua had a paralysed hand and could hardly walk. This is what his brother-in-arms had to say about it.
How Sayas.
Thesai Johannes, known as Joshua. Where is he now?
I don't know him.
He was co-founder of the newspaper Set It, which was the biggest newspaper here prior to being shut down.
I don't know him. I don't know.
You don't know him. Or where he might be.
Hgdef.
I don't know him. If I don't know him, how
I don't know him. I don't know him. I don't know him. Asawi. Hello Sulu, I don't know him, miss. Musucha Sailu. Hello, miss. I don't know him. Musucha Sailu, I don't know him. Hgdef, Asawi. Opposition,
He hasn't been
Haki.
the first of the journalists to die, and he won't be the last. None of them have ever been charged with anything or appeared in front of a court. And when Isaias, on a trip to South Africa, was asked about it, his literal response was, "Do you have any idea about the Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, where the United States has detained prisoners for reasons of national security? So can we do just like that. We can detain people who we believe are a threat to our national security if we want, indefinitely." This is the man that Isaias killed, the threat to national security, performing here with his children's group as the lion.
Joshua helped the community in the the kids.
Above all, a good man, a hard worker for his community, a true fighter for the liberation of his people. Meanwhile, the once brother-in-arms who betrayed Joshua and a whole nation also keeps fighting, but his fight, we know now, has always been for power. And if he runs out of enemies outside his country, he makes his fellow citizens his enemies and kills them. But we are watching, and we now know, Isaias. We know the kind of man you are and what you are doing. Well over 1 million Eritrean people living in diaspora cannot be kept quiet. You kill people like Joshua,
Captain
your
Eritrea.
brother-in-arms, so as to try to own the once proud collective memory of Eritrea, so you can justify your power and impose your figure as the father of the country. But by killing people like Joshua, you are creating the heroes of the future. It is people like Joshua whose pictures will hang from the walls of Eritrean households for generations to come. And whoever looks at them will know that these were the people that truly fought for liberation, and that they were all killed by a dictator who once existed, called Isaias Afwerki. These images of children playing in the streets were the last ones that my husband filmed for Joshua. We don't know what he had in mind for these images, but this is what he wanted to be filmed. Children playing.
This generation may say we have constructed our own country. We have worked for the well-being of our country.
We have worked just put our country at the level of all the developed countries. We have worked. Yes, we have done our duty. It is our power, it is our support, which means them sit even in the government. It is our power, it is our support, which means them sit even in the government. ومودك إيري بزعبة إيري تراديكم كزاربو داليهم. Is that what you want to talk about? You want to talk about Eritrea? I'm in Eritrea right now. Do you see what's behind me? Eritrea, Mish. Since I can't go to Eritrea, how about I zoom picture it? Let's talk about Joshua, Mish. Why did Joshua have to die? Why? His country to Alisu, liberation Hibawa, Hgdef, Hasawi, Hgdef, Saraqi, Isaias, Hasawi, Isaias, Saraqi. Opposition, Suriat. Opposition, Aisar Kunyum. Opposition, Haki Zarabu. The Herheji. Indi Herkutuma go to Huankum. Museum Zuluflufu. All the people that be coming on media arguing and yelling and this and that and making examples of people and putting their pictures up and breaking them down. And no, unacceptable. Only two ways we can move. Opposition, Hgdefawi. Hgdefawi, كتنفسي خلوني يوم حج. كابانز جنبر, أشهات ولي علخو. I've read. I'm not even talking about the war. I'm just talking about who's following me and who's with me. Ashahat. You'll see. I got a surprise for you, Mishilokum. Opposition versus Hgdefawi. What is Hgdefawi? Hgdefawi is the poison to Eritrea. Hgdefawi is a fake patriot. Hgdefawi will wave the Eritrean flag in front of your face and say they are for the people. And they will backstab you, make sure you're hurt or killed. Hgdefawi will worship Isaias Afwerki. Why PFDJ? Hgdefawi. PFDJ, Hgdefawi. These are Hgdefawi. Some of these groups like One Nation, half of them, Hgdefawi. That's the truth. You ever talk to anybody in some of these organizations? You're like, what are you? Opposition, you're Hgdefawi. That's it. Let's not lie. Let's just be honest, Mish. Let's be honest about the stuff that we're talking about. You can't fool us, the people. That's the problem. You see, Yahwate, Na'ai? They can't say Dawid belongs to this group. Dawid belongs to this group. You know why? I get to say whatever I want, however I want to say it, whenever I want to say it. And you know what? So far, my interaction with One Nation have been all Hgdefawi. So far. I have yet to meet one person, One Nation, Jalowo, opposition to One Nation. Not one person yet. Who knows? I might change my mind. This is my observation. So far, so far, يأكل كفرسوا يدليو. أنا يأكل أخونكم. But يأكل كفرسوا إمز فحرزلو. Why? مش لكم. Ask why. Oh, يأكل ده خمسينه. Why? يأكل ده خمسي جرم. Why? انتي ملكتك. نهر يأكل زخونك. Why do you care? نجارونا. سلامتاي قداس خونك. سلامتاي بزعبا يأكل تزارب لها كم تنعي تبلني نتجارو يتحجزهم نتجارو تزاربهم بزعبا عدم غرفان إريتريان في إريتراوي تقول مش okay let's take your advice Okay, I'm talking about Eritrea today, Mish. That's what you wanted. So I talked about Eritrea. Now tell me, if we're talking about Eritrea, then why are you in Yaakal business? Why do you care? You don't like it? Leave it. It's none of your business. Any opposition groups, you don't like them? Leave them. It's none of your business. Mish, unless you have an agenda. What is نتكا علامة انت خدليها. فهركا خطفروسون بعد ياكل نزينا opposition اسرا ثلاثة opposition groups alone. Who cares? You need to worry about Eritreans as a whole. Mish, let's worry about our country. Let's worry about our people. Okay, who is oppressing our people right now? Many oppress natna his bizgabrzalo. Why don't my people have nothing? Why don't they have anything? Salamta wal hanti yobulomin. Nugorini. Nimeni na hiji khanib. TPLF di homogerina? Hiji TPLF di af hizwam dalo? TPLF di af kisarum dalo in Eritrea wa hiji? Many. Amhara di? No, Amhara Sarahtina Amhara hiji. Saha hak nagere. I know you don't want to hear that. Mish, again, we're workers for Amhara right now. That's what we are. We're weapons. Now Amhara slaves, Hiji. Come to this outlaws of politics. Mish? Okay. So numeni na Hiji blame about Hgdef. Kuthasus latu'ulu? Numeni na blame nagobro. Many Hijits aqait uam. Abkisarum dek adday zallo. Slamtai dek adday telephone kuduli khulunum. Slamtai aspeza si inom. Slamtai mai si inom. نقولني حج انت خنتبلوني اخون ما اريتراوي خون كان خنتبلوني بزعبا اريترا زارب الله طرح نا اريترا طرح زارب الله سو ما انت خنتبلو حجي انت اي مخنيت هابو نسكت مخنيت بزعبا اريترا حتى ساعات قالت زارب الله اتم لسه هابوني انت اي what's the answer? Why don't my people have anything? Who's oppressing them now? Who's oppressing my people now? Who are we going to blame now? How come we can't ever blame who's responsible? It's Hamas Gorazolo? No blame Zayn Gobro. How come Nakhala always Amitna Zion Gerona? Is it Gerona? Is it Sarik Omna? Is it Baramahizoma? Is it Geroma? Mahara. Okay, cool. I know the history. I understand. Nimenikum Hijigin blamed Gobru. Huh? Tigray Taharima? Okay, cool. Now we're back to Eritrea. We're discussing Eritrea. Who's holding Eritrea down now? Who's oppressing Eritrea? Hgdef, Isaias Afwerki. Is there any universities in Eritrea since we're talking about Eritrea? Any colleges? Anything? Can anybody tell me what's in Eritrea? It's Hizbi, Makhsab Hizbi? Nothing. Let's talk about Eritrea. Let's talk about lies and truth, right? Stop covering up for the man. Ba'alu Ethiopian yqatlu kumalu. Marahina Eritrea. I'm going to say it in English for my youngs. The leader of Eritrea is Ethiopian. And all Eritrean Hgdefawi, they know this. And they still worship him like a god. Their leader is Ethiopian. Doesn't that make you sick to your stomach? You think you want to talk about Eritrea, but your leader is Ethiopian. Who's going to argue that? What did Tembian? Who's going to argue that? Can you argue that? So not only is our leader in Eritrea Ethiopian, he's not Eritrean, right? Okay. I don't even think he's Firki. The leader of Ethiopia is Ethiopian. He claimed Oromo Galailu Atikum Galagaru and then switched to. But the number one thing that Ethiopian leader is smart. You know what he did? Tuf kublalkum nehdafawi abgatskum Haile Selassie monument sarihu. Truth versus lies, right? Abiy Ahmed, he built a Haile Selassie monument. I think he even invited Mengistu, if I'm correct. Tuf abgatskum. Skom kaani kofilkum. Harageta. Marahina Ethiopia, Ethiopian. Marahina Eritrea, Ethiopian. Kullum. facts. Mish facts. We close this out. Marahina Ethiopia, Ethiopian. Marahina Eritrea, Ethiopian. So let's talk about the next topic. Since we're talking about Eritrea, Mish, Abiy Ahmed, okay? I got to discuss Abiy Ahmed. There's no way around this discussion. Abiy Ahmed was killing Eritreans. With who? Mismen. He was killing Eritreans. So for you, Hasarat, Hasoti Sarakti, Abiy Ahmed, Sulukhum Zalo, Eritrawik Atil Neru. Zikarakum, Suludoch Truitidali, Kom Sorot Silhani, Hajdokharakum, Herdelihu, Abiy Ahmed, Finjani Eritrea said Neru. Hijaharikum Gin, Nakhale is your Missa Sadiram to Abiy Ahmed, Eritrawik Atil Neru, Colonel Holo. أبينركم شعوق جزاء أبينركم تايتبلو نركم شعوقين حجيجين سئلي نا أبي أحمد أبي فيسبوك ناتكم حيسكم سئلكم تلفلفلنا Abiy Ahmed was killing Eritreans دك عادنا يقتل نرو دك إيري يقتل نرو away أتصنعوا for my youngest that speak English Ethiopian Prime Minister, unelected, Abiy Ahmed, was killing Eritreans. Go look it up. But we don't talk about that, do we? Because we only Eritreans, Eritrawi for Eritrea. Eritreans for Eritrea. Mish, okay. You wanted Eritrea? I'm giving you Eritrea. So now tell me, who's holding Abiy Ahmed accountable for killing Eritreans? Who? Has anybody asked about that? Right? TPLF went to war with Eritrea. Who was in TPLF? Abiy Ahmed. What was he doing? He was killing Eritreans. Who's Abiy Ahmed's best friend? Isaias Afwerki. Things to make you go, Mish. This is an insult to you. My brothers and sisters, I love you. I love all of you. But at least now you understand my stance. At least now you understand why I speak the way I do. Salam tai dawi kom ilu izara. Salam tai peace miss tigrawi hizbizadali. This is why. Because we're getting played. It's all to nalo. You don't want to open your eyes. You want to be awarti. Awarti salatidali. Ana aynohum khaftalkum. Abiy Ahmed, Eritrean killer. Abiy Ahmed, Tigrina speaker killer. Am I lying? Somebody tell me I'm lying. If I'm lying, please tell me. But back to Eritrea, since we're talking about Eritrea today, Mish. Let's talk about Eritrea, Mish. Okay. The menu, the number one Eritrawi killer. Menu disease halifu, menu starvation halifu, menu hula alam halifu, the number one Eritrawi Katil, who is it? Write it down. Skakhari, Sahafu. Menu the number one Eritrawi Katali Zalana. Abza Alam. Who? Can anybody tell me who? For real? Who's the number one Eritrawi killer? Isaias Afwerki. Number one Isaias. Number one killer. Kula Halifu, Isaias Afwerki. Yep, dictator Isaias. The number one Eritrawi killer. Itam Awara follows Gobruach Azalo. Kulumbu ilum kam Zambi follows Gobruach. Dek Eritrawi dem ab id kumi zalo. Salasa Amet dek adina zumotu ab id kumi zalo. Sataqabalwa. Kendi agame hamzut tsaarfu tu'ulu addohum atsriyu. Tulumish na Eritrawi slatul tu'ulu imoskan atsriyu. Manis qatlana adallo. Hijin manikum blame to go. Yalan todi Isaias ka khair hiji. Hgdef and after video lomi is post goverko of Houston Rikomom. At least senatum kurute karanti yahayish kaptiama Vegas to nabaret mish. Kurute natum karanti yahayish malas kurute suriyat kurute. Yen hamak karanti still. Nesais kamzilom hizom ira kamzila hizato like nata gate tamish. Sabkat hifla nitbandera hagisom kaims no. نحن إريتريان تحوجيسكا إريتريان ترى ومص عسلنا إريتريان ميزو بريس إلينا إسايس سبت أطلقاجين هيسكا بعلو كما جركاس إثيوبيان خلص إثيوبيا مراحي سئلي هيسكا هو تقولكم أملاكا. How do you hold his picture up like he's your God and you know he's not even Eritrean? How? And you worship him. And then they get mad at me and they say, Dawi, take that video down. It's Houston people political khonu hizbi no hizbi khonu. So that's why I put it up. We're talking about Eritrea, right? I'm only talking about Eritrea. Eritreans Eritreans. Since you want to talk about Eritrea. Eritreans Eritreans Arab. Kala it's Arab kun. That's why it's effective because you know it's hak in a gut for Mish, you know the truth. You know who's killing us. You know. Many's Katlana Zolo. Isaias Afwarki is Katlana Zolo. I'm gonna keep saying that until it resonates. Why do you support him? Are you getting paid? Do you love? Are you Balaha Firki Tiapawi Tone? Is your Mabs Hamat Frelo? Balahom Firki Tiapawi. Most of the ones hard hodu Firki Hara Gale am Tauswasim, Azimatsium, because Arafu you Alumber, Hakanagar, Hak Eritrawin Hanerka, ne Isaias at 420. Duk Adina Atilu, Falastic Atilu, Koro Haridu, Anesti Haridom, Kulu, Isaias for Kulu Zegaboro Yellen, Jam Kulam Jaganu Nata Hajividia Riokunk Atilu. Who's going to dispute that? So, ladies and gentlemen, the moral of the story today. Hgdef versus opposition. Nish, I've proved to you without a doubt, Hgdefawi is a liar, killer, thief. Hasoti, sarati, katalti. And I prove to you, opposition are good people that want loti. They want change. This is what my topic for today was. Since everybody was fed up about talking about this and this and this and this, and I got me this and this, okay, you want to talk about Eritrea? You shouldn't have wanted that. Because the next one I could talk for 10 hours about Eritrea. I could talk about 30 years of nonsense of my people getting killed. I can, endlessly, because I don't know. Mish, who's going to stop me? And I'm going to continue to speak until everybody understands who's the root evil of Eritrea. Manis Katula Nazalo. There you go. There's nothing more to it. Are there any other questions before I end this? Now that you got your lesson in Eritrea, the next thing I'm going to say to you, okay, why is Eritrea and Tigray hatukumi? First, Slamta Atina Tigray hatukumi. Sahani, Gulatsula. Tell me why. Why? Exactly. You don't want to talk about that. You only want to talk about Eritrea. Okay, you want to talk about Eritrea? There's thousands of history in Eritrea. I can speak forever on that. So there. And I spoke in English a lot today so the youth can understand why Isaias Afwerki is the #1 killer of Eritrea. Don't believe me? Do your own research. Figure it out for yourself. Go look it up. Everything I mentioned. Go on YouTube. Go look at the books. Go study yourself, kids. You'll understand. Grown-ups, you know. Come grown-ups, Zion Hgdef, Nesai supports Gogu, Saratium. You fought to him, Sarati. What did you tell me fought to him? What did Barat, Merim Barat? Sarahola fought to him Faraan. Hasarat Sarati, you follow low Galayimber, you fought to him. Comes a fought to Ahonin. Shilu Baza Raja, Baza, it's out alone. Hamasem da Decade, Galayim. Oh, Ilam Taugisum come Kola lollipop tuba. Taugisum, we, Nanats Awina. أبيت تباهيلكم مش نحن هاخد مهورنا لا نحن ناخد مهوركم تم عبيتي تصوريات زلهم نمسكنكم هنا respect بخبرتنا نحلوكم بخبرتنا نريئكم تم عبيتي تصورياتنا إريتراوي حق إريتراوي صلاات زي بلهم the real Eritrean, the older ones, Eritreans, we respect you. We learn from you. The Hgdef Eritreans that support Isaias Forki, we don't trust you. We don't believe you. You lied too much. And today, I prove 1,000 times how much you lied about our history and what's really happening. That video was not even made. The one I showed you was not even made by Eritreans. It was made by Saadu. Independent source. Dispute that. Start there. Eritrawi. Mish. Come يبل كذا حرك. دك أديس تسرقة خلاص تسرقة بباندا بسرقتي بمغصب نيسلدي YPFDJ PFDJ سرق أبيلهم حرق أبيلهم سب كم زارب كزارب زيك الجرم أبزم ميديا مسيوم كأني no زيوم أقام قريف ناس دك عدنا تراه نحلو stop lying bro what are you talking about why are you lying stop lying أقام قريف كان أبزم حمد سخاص ممتع عدهم أتخلفه why don't you ask that no نيرتراك حلوة أنا نيرتراك راح الزارب دلخو no you're not you're lying agenda لك تخفل لها أنت إنك agenda نك علامة نجارنا أتحسو اتحوتت جزها خمسين ولا تعرفنا ولا تعرف it doesn't matter سو اتنجار أيك إيروني اتحق نجار كوتسين أميريا زلخم حسوتي حتوت معاتي كمتسين شنكم أخبركم من أسكم يعني أخبركم وسامتاي شنكم يسوعوا كخبركم no بابازولون رو أخواني زناجر أخبركم you know why سمينا إريتريا يخون إسخون سمينا إريتريا يخون حق نجار تزاربو أبزي مسيحة حوس بأوراجا بزي سألكم تزاربو حصوتي يخون داود كابتن إريتريا لكم حصوتي يخون إن حزفتكم أخاني دولوا لي أبزي لايف كنوادا در نخل بإنجليش جينا مسايا بإنجليش أتقولوني نخون تقرينا من البعض بإنجليش كا حرد كعف بإنتلكتوال زمسكم بتصرفات هتصرف كان خمسة أزبوكا تحجزك إن هواي حنقول كاس أبزس لازلو أخوني جين يفتوكا ودي أري I love you كده سمع أي تخلني نخا بإنجليش أمسوهم أبزي لايف بخبرات زقبلكم تحريو بإنجليش بتجرينا جين سبو جري زاربنا تجرينا جيني فتنة فتوى يخم كتسلي بلوني ما كتسلي why not كم جري نفسي زما تايلاند هدلكم كأني بومبو تاي ماكما كاو جاي ماي دلايكم أمسوه Spanish دلي دلايكم أمسوه جين بتعز خائلة بإنجليش أي تقولوني نكم so شم كيس أواخو يسمع أكومي نري أكومالنا بزعبا إريتراوي سلتزاربو تميلي تجرينا بتعمير داني جن كملس كلهو إتي word sometimes يكبدني إمبر يرداني بابا تسبو جرو كم زجرو هيزنا نرو رأيوم إزيهم مسرقتي رأيوم دكي أسمعوهم كم زجركم تأمتون سبكري أكخول عينو خمزل كارعيو خمزل كأخاتريو كفلت مني زارب دلو نعم بس زارب دلو كاي تفرحوا ولا حنتي مستر عسى حنبوسو يزبلنا نرو بابا أبزي كدانا غروكم متيوم بزي باوراجا بزي Catholic religion سيلون قحف ناي Christian ناي Muslim يلونكم مسخوميوم Tell me when has a Muslim person Eritrea found peace? Please explain that to me under Isaiah support. Explain that to me. حتى مع التخمة Muslim peace على خبرنا عندنا. جين the number one soldiers يلهم يوزي قبلهم يسدوهم كموتو دك برخات تأم lowlanders كيدو تبع أصلنا خلهم يوعل مش نتأم رشايدة خاني كل سرقنا يلي يسدهم انتهى easy حق زي تزاربو جين بعلو خافلو show me Isaiah support it حيزو أرين حنت جزء Isaiah support ጥይት ኣጢቁ ንዓዱ ተቃሊሱ ኣርኢዩኒ ሓንቲ ስእሊ ኣርኢዩኒ ቪድዮ ናይ ኢሳያስ ኣፈወርቂ ክቃለስ ከሎ ስደዱለይ ሜሴንጀር ገርኩም ስደዱለይ በጃኹም ኣይትኽእሉን ኢኹም የለን ክትርእይዎ ኣይትኽእሉን ኢኹም እቲ ኢትዮጵያን መራሒ ናትኩም ይፃውተልኩም ይሰደኩም ክትሞቱ ባዕሉ ግን ኣይዓጥቅን እዩ ነቲኦም መስሎም ከዓኒ ብድሕሪ ይፀልኦም እዩ እዚኦም ዝድግፎም ከዓ ይገርመኒ እዩ መስሎም ዘለዎ ንዓይ ይገርመኒ እዩ ይፀልኦም በዚ ብሪሊጅን ከምኡታት ይፃወተሎም ድሕሪኡ ሓሲዩ ከዓኒ ናብ ኮሎግዛይ ናብዚታት ኣውራጃ ከምዚ ይኣቱ እሱ ይሰርሕ እዩ እታ ዲክቴተር እሱ ንሕና ኣብዛ ዝዓበና ምሁራት ኢና ከምኡታት ኣይሰርሕን እዩ ኣውራጃ ትድርብዮ ናባይ የዘብሎ ኣነ ከምዚኣ ትብለኒ የዘብሎ ናተይ ፎከስ ትኽ ኢለ ናባኻ እየ ዝኸይድ ስልካ በዚ ክትወዞ እቲ ዘረባ ናብዚ ኣይከይድ እዩ ዋላ ሓማስን ዋላ ኮሎግዛይ ዋላ ሰራየ I don't care. That means nothing. You know what that means? Eritrean. Just another Eritrean. Who cares? Mish? But what makes you special? Slimta'hum special. Nagoruni. Tasiyahum tuk alasulahum na aduhum dihum. Bemedia to tuk alasulahum. Peace mis gorobetkum dihum tidali alahum. You want peace with your neighbors? Is that what makes you special? What makes you special? What makes you different? When you wake up every morning, you have to sleep. And you want to sleep good, what is it that makes you special? Nagorani. I want to know what makes you special. Natum hasoti, Amiria de lo, comes you come to Tizarabon, Raini, Skana, na, Nizar, Taitwalaha. Huh? Oh, wayena Hatubutra, oh, Matonka, Taiwana Gerumka. Abzita Sadikas, what Hader Nerka, Kultasamun, Arbatasamun. هاديم كابز مسيحاز وين تبلا لها دك عدنا زموتي زلوخن بزعبا صوم زي تزارب دك عدنا زتومي زلوخن بزعبا صوم زي تزارب أبز مسيحاجين propaganda machine Eritrean بحاف وين بحاف no we don't care we don't want to hear none of that brother none of that sister we don't want to hear none of that you know what we want to hear how are we going to free Eritrea that's what we want to hear. How is Tegaru's going to find peace and no war? That's what we want to hear. We don't want to hear none of your bullcrap. We don't want to hear is this certain nakum elama bidhari tsahofluhum asarta camera gerkum bazi who cares? Who cares? All of us work, all of us have money. So what? You're not special. No one's special. Mish. So what? So explain to me. The real question is explain to me. Why do you support the side sporty? Sometimes I support the government. Ne size elia, ne dek adeha atulu. To am to honka. Ne dek adeha tran herkonka. Bizaba dek adeha Mr. Alaska, Mr. Aska. If you really support Eritrea, you would be fighting for Eritreans. You know why I'm speaking? Because I'm tired dek ade wala hanti yobulom. Ya akhlani, ya akhlom. Some dok kaani. As the videos that are home so some kaani chance kolom alone. Some kind of maharu long, dream could go to long, dream could go to Hamane Holun, Helmetia, Kalmo Ilunium. Natum Helmi, Bal'i, Natum Helmi, Iska Mike and Rakib. What kind of socket is this? This is not fair. Eritrea is it fair? Is it fair? Is it 2021, but Hinas, Abkadmi Amlas, Dick Ade Maisi, you know. I has no community. أسمعكم نسي دك إريترياز ما يسينهم دك إريترياز عادس يوم أبغازي كوس يخولونهم إزاي أسمعكم 2021 Mars أتيهم الله خلا عالم ولا أتيهم third world nations of Mars أتيهم the moon أتيهم خفة بيلهم rocket ships أبيريترياجي ما يسينهم نزيت تدقفوا مو either mental slavery لكم or مهوراتهم كله نجاري لن حمومي سبز حمامت رايكم إذا حاسب بر who thinks like that? Who's 2021? The rest of the world is placing rocket ships and talking about placing life in different worlds in Mars, in survival in Mars is out of below. They're not searching for water. They're not searching for food. They're landing rockets in another country. Eritreans are looking for water and food still in 2021. But yet, Africa is one of the richest nations or country in resources. That does not make sense. Besides 1 billion dollars in Swiss bank accounts. But people are looking for water and food. Mish, that doesn't make sense. So how do you support this? How do you support this? Kamigar Khan is support to go. It's disgusting. This is anti-amlachi, anti-Godism. You can't answer this. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you think. You can't answer this. And that guy of Arizona, Shimkaitz Wakane, Mr. Tabah. I saw your comment on my messages. I know we're friends on Facebook. Don't comment on my messenger, bro. You got something to say to me? Call me. We can have a conversation. Other than that, the sneak disses, Zasilka messenger, stop it. You're a grown man. You want to talk to me, bro? Call me. Call me direct, FaceTime. Then we can even meet up, whatever you want to do, so we can have this conversation. Don't be a social media guy that has a lot of following and then try to write on messages on my, no, that doesn't fly. You're big enough to where you could call me. Mish, that's called respect. Respect yarka dawlale. And the how cause they qosar kana khani moiti dawlale. It costs you nothing to not come on my page. Don't come on my page. I don't deal with cowards, I don't deal with cowards. I deal with real men. When we have a conversation, أنا صحن كم سوقتك نزارب كلنا خمزي أزري أكا خمزي أجرا عين خا أزري أكا قوم جرنا عين نزارب السوق خبراتي صباح زي سيل كام حبا زي مصراف هاي لنيم كله نجار يلا you know what I mean نسايس نحج دقف من كا إسايس دقف بلاني كا Facebook friends ناتي WhatsApp هاي لنيني نهيك دفاوي that's simple opposition Hgdef. That's it. It's that clear cut. There Hji, T.R.A.P, opposition to Bahalu Zalohum, Netium Tabahum Zalo, the one sitting next to you, of the Facebook page, all your little friends and all that. Don't be afraid. Ask them straight up. Do you support the side support? Yes or no? No, okay, you can stay. Get not to actions, not to. تسرح ناتو نسايس تيلو دغاف سيلو يزارم كوينو اوصو Hgdef cadre انا يولع قلتي فريه بلن قحف ري قحف I don't waste no time live قبر لخو يريو صحفو از Hgdef قحف opportunity كمان تزارب هي هوني سيلكا اثيوبيا خص عرفت وعل بدحريت كاني نسايس 2% خفلو كراري with that nonsense. Nobody got time for that. I need to feed my own family. I'm not going to give nobody 2%, especially no one killing my people. I'm not going to give no Ethiopian president of Eritrea. That's right, Ethiopian president of Eritrea. I'm not going to give the Ethiopian president of Eritrea 2%. Why would I? Did he give my country and my people a benefit while he's hiding $1 billion? No, what do president of Eritrea go, bro? ودها إريتريا أنا president أخواني. خامس حلفك كل سب كم سخائم زخون. We don't need you ودي براد مريم براد. كابتن إريتريا دمسينا تهزبي زارب زلخو. أنا بعلي زاربني. أنا representative of my constituents. Message زهابوني إزينا خنزارب زيلهم سريرomni. مريم براد سخان ودخان كيروك الله يدردقو. عند لكم نينا. Hgdefawi misahawu sodom kasa khulum qahafat CIA galat habiyam sarhu simi sab zablu zu'u zqlubu zu'u misahawu sodom adlenani Hgdefawi of America zalokhum kani musuk alay ito adlenani adle sokhum adlenani sakum simina Eritrea saraqtik anati nfalasi qaharmu wa amotsu Vegas abzi LA nfalasi mehram rahmish npriest sab qaharms سدينات كوي definition Hgdefawi سدي عقل زي بلو ولا حنتي سدي نعلم كم قحفنا إريتريا هجدف أوي سيلهم فلاسين نونوز ودين حلوك حرمو يمتصل أوش أنا نرشعو جزء خمان تنانستي الحينهم أنا تفلاسين بر اتنايت situation أنا أقولكم جيم بوزع صفات وبوزع عتيا بوزع حاجة جزوم الله بزي حاجة الله إتي 19 freedom كا قربتي خاود داخل كنا أقولكم يحواتي قربتي 19 freedom. You know why I get this sending you? Let me tell you something. Each city, each state, each country, Europe, Canada, America, Messiah law, constituency natum. Hejina Los Angeles and Herdawila, Skahams Goboru Yuhatin Helium, Team Freedom Los Angeles Bahalulo, Team Freedom Orange County is Bahalulo, Team Freedom San Diego is Bahalulo. Imishnagirokum Abilana, Mitisha, Hamustim Itisha Kula Atinaluna. Team Freedom Europa, Team Freedom Abraham Cassette, Hawaii, Team Freedom Maliom, Wala Kansas City in Herdawila, Team Freedom in Zuluni, Team Freedom, Hira, Tayleka, Allo, okay? Eske Celeste Mitisab Akubu Salam self figure, Harai Dawi, Captain Eritrea, Team Freedom, Alena, is see it sugar Higdafawi. 4 عام سرحنا له حج واسينا لنا مالتوش كميوخا 3 عام كوف إلنا أتكيتنا we are watching you. I can call any state in the United States, any state, and call for Team Freedom, Team that's in that, and they will answer. But like I said, you don't believe me? No problem. I have a surprise for you. Soon, coming to a theater near you, Yahwate. Don't worry. Tamatsela khore okume. Kame hailu lana khore okume. Mish, but you know the beauty. It's a book on Team Freedom. You know the beauty of Team Freedom, Yahwate? Let me tell you the beauty of Team Freedom. Ana kaidone. I'm not the leader of Team Freedom. I'm just a figurehead. I'm Captain Eritrea. Mish. Ana Captain Eritrea. Ana kaidone. It is B is a kaido. It is B. Ashahad dawilum. كمز خمزي نعايم زعزوزوني أنا صراحتين أنا Team Freedom السوق عايزير داكم زلوا. That's the beauty of it. I'm a worker for my people. I am a representative for my people, my constituents. They tell me go speak, I speak. Is it Tazarabo? Go. Yes, sir. Ile? Orders nate wasire like a good soldier. Yizarabo to Azozuni. Is he a Team Freedom? That's why you blokum kudum susuna ay khulunium. No way, impossible. Anay khayir harematse. Su khayir harematse. Komu gerna ina hasibna kajamarna sla Hgdefawi sla nfatom inta israhnatum sarati sla nfatom mqtal poison trasel zgobru dahanmo ashahat sab qorubu ilay. أنا نحكي إنتوا تمتقوا سو نحكي إنتوا تمتقوا كلهم كمايز حسبوا كلهم كمايز زاربوا ده حريق خافيلهم نجارنا زحوي جين كم زبالكم كرياكم دهان نعي زر سبز لفلف يلايك نبالخير هجلومي بروف أنت لكم فيديو رياكم كله رياكم مش no problem جين كرياكم مخا كل تحايلي كم حايل الآخر رياكم in fact Team Freedom كأي حواتي كرداكم سعدوا my Latin brothers, LMT, كلهم ترارارا مش ألنا كلنا نتحققنا كلنا نترى مش meeting قرنا كم قرنا أشحاد بس هنا I don't know. Don't call Ogin. They're tired of you. They're tired of Hgdef lying to them. The youth is tired of the drama. The youth is tired of the political bull crap. So this is why people like me have emerged. This is why Seb Kamai Matsu Khazarab. Defi Khumna, Hofilna Niriokum. Now, what happened to Khadna? Nidhrit Rahnimalas. No. The Eritrean Chubuatina. Comes a hone Khani. Sarati Hasarat Kublana, no way. Nahna Barana on Oriona. Schatkum Kani de Gafina Esaias. Move, get out of our way, or we're gonna go through you if you don't move. Move out of the way. خافيلكم بيتزا بلعو همبرجر بلعو كيلو نعدكم تملسوا قوم كيلو سوا مش كتت لكم تختت مش كم لكم تختت لكم أبلغهم أبزي حجة تعرفون لهم سلامتا أي تختت كان then he call you he said strap up come help me مش لك أبزي ما تحاجين تعرف على تختت كيد تختت أبسوا أبزي تعبيها على فيسبوك يسعرفني لو الآخر يومي يتم هدف حجري خالو كلهم بعالم صحيفهم استختت لنا هو غانم هتعرفني كيلو تختتوا با ترى عليكم با إذا تروح تقابل دولة على المزناي whatever his name تختت كيد حتى توم كامش يلقاكو أينات كان نقول Ethiopian president نا إريتريا دلو سايز بحال تختت يلقا مخي حتك كلهم إنتي أبزي تدقوا فون ن opposition كسبروت راح حقنا opposition كسبروت راح زلهم كاني تختتوا كيلو أنا أمنكم لنا ناتكم علامة تردينا opposition يعزي هونكا سراقيها طوما يعزي هونكا سراقيها ناهيك دفعها أموكي تختت كي تقالس نقص ناتكا أبزي تدوشونا كيلو تبع أسلو كلهم تدمسي سومهم اندحر Ethiopian president of Eritrea decides fork in هيلكا تختت انتاي مالتيزي يبلنا نسب ودي أيوم يزبك الله يهواك قتي ليومي سريد يوم كموتو كيلو إلى يوم يبلنا حجي تختتو حجوزني يزبك الله تردوا أنت يبلكم الله بقصكم يزنقركم ده حسواس بقصكم يزنقر he's telling you we're out of soldiers come support me go strap up and help the side support me go to Sawa don't come over here calling names and all this nonsense Mish okay anyways with that being said ladies and gentlemen before I leave thank you very much Hwate. This is my session for Friday only I think 200 people atina that's okay do me a favor misayn herdalahum haji every group dalahum share gabarwa haji I want to see you all share 1 2 3 share gabarwa thank you and then abtatakhani share misgabarkuma kullu sab kriyay ziz huruqum مستحلف اتحلف ومش يحرقومي damn زي الرئي لا يحرقوا لهم thank you تحجزون المساعدة لهم I appreciate it share قبوري and then ابتي يوتيوب كأني بتحتي subscribe to Captain Eritrea زبل سبعا حموشتن سب تريفون له بجاكم تريوا لهم بتحتي right here أبزي أبو subscribe قبوري حجي سبعا حموشتن سب مسأتو بيوتيوب after that stop كقبرني خالونيهم يوتيوب مسأته خلاص ندوموز قبروني none of that جيم قالك صريح زمت له in the future calendar كومتات كنصريح هنا اتصل دي بخومتا سرحنا يغاني نتي أم refugees إتهز بخريئيو كل سنتين كتري ويخمنا بإيز خيدة لو سيليز محبا أنا قبرنا سرحنا يو كنوريوكم هنا كندزي سرحنا نتي أم refugees كأكن حجزهم إنا دك إيرين همينا نقبر كل عالم درعيه مش محساو مسراق يلن shares قبركم نغاني يوم أزجنوكم thank you تأمس حق زبلا خيرت كله because لو مي serious let's زاربكم up to restaurant كده خلوهم مش الماس حريق كله بطعمي حريق كله الماس زمواي تبهال هوايخا يفتوى كأز هواي دهان أتحرك يرد عناي سلسلة ميتي خمتاز هبكاز يرد عناي هواي مثلا ودي أرس لزهونك طعامة ولا تكون ولا هدف كون نفتوى كمينا يحواتنا يكون كين تحمق تقولوا زلهم جروف نعم لخ من جدي كون بجاهم تخاكم كأني سيلكم كدنا جروت ما تزلهم بلايف ميديا سيف فالوز جبركم stop it نريكم أنا أين فرحكم ولا قصنا وصوا who cares دمسينا حزبينا كنا خاطة لكم نخلينا أين فرحكم لنا toe to toe anytime it don't matter who what when where why anytime anyways so what I wanted to say was the magic trick remember we discussed how to identify Hgdef مش okay look عادي سمعوني listen to me when you go to your car مش look at all four tires أسمعوا but when you go to your car, make sure you don't turn your back. Comes يقولكم نت tires أصنعوها خمس يقولكم أربعة مش دحر نفيسو تحيدكم دنينكم كاي تعبوا كابنيو كوفيلكم أصنعوها back up مش then ماكينة خطأتو خلوهم بتدحريت seat on the back seat رأيوا خمس يقولكم أصنعوها تبدحريت دلو تسريع مش menu بدحريت especially SUV truck van حلوكم بدحريت ماكينة أستوعلكم يتو دحريو نتا ماكينة park قبرو when you park your car back in قبرو كم زجركم back in قبرو نقدميت أتو كتوصل لهم دحراي ندحريت أجام يلا نقدميت راح تخلو ترديكم إزي هنتي يقولكم اللهنا وتهدر نايزام special كومنتات commandos تمهرنايو أستوعلكم كيلو مع صوخهم جزاهم كقدو خلهم رأيوا تمع صوت هاندو مش تتنكيفاده تمع صوخهم زجركم أتصنعوه تمع صوخهم إزمس أفتح مدرك أدمي ما welcome زبالك عني رأيوا حمد الله كلا ديسمع كان عقينه أيتو كلبي نحلك نتخل بأتو مجمرتا إن احتعدت كون كخاني بتأيي جركا أسيلكا تخل بأتو جين كتهرم كلها مع خليفة تهرم أبزيت هرم أبزيت حتي تهرم مع خل تخلي وح اللي السب جزاله مع خليفة تهرم إن احتعدت كونكم مالتي مش careful جاكم يحري جزاءاتهم كأني نتشاور تتعرات الكلازت كله يخم تصنعهم دحري تعرفوا مش كعرفكم جن اتمعصوا عصيهم كله تعصوا أبزي والمارت أبا سيفواي كومتاك اللو كاميرا $99 زخونه نيشته سلسته تجوزو أبجوزهم كمز تلاقبوا مش portable easy قليل أنا ماما هاوسالني أبجزايلني يحواتيلوني حجي إن نيشته حوي دويله بفيديو ري الله قليل ما قري قليل you will thank me for this and then I can أبجزاي حجين دار أخو كم زجارة كزاربكم خال نتسب مع صوت الله كزارب انتهي تدلي إلى خزارب خال كم ها invest كباري ندقهم كتريون تقولوا خلوا كتريون تقولوا كابنيو ولا خب كلا عاد خزارب أنا ده نحواتي خل you know why كذا am نومنه يفلت انتهي ناتهم شت عرا restaurant خي كله خاني حق نتمعصو أهيبوني don't give your back to the door in a restaurant turn your back against the wall كله خطريهم زكاة مس أتخابت restaurant كاني كم يجر كات واتس سلست بخلت موسان عزيبلو أي تبلعبو بخلت موسان خلوانو 2 doors 2 exits at least minimum بحار موسان عقينو أي تبلعبو دقهم أبو أي تسودو نوري مش in her Abbey restaurant كيدو خاني بخندي مع أصله مني زريعك أما أخذ خات خفتبل أفتواخ أنا حقها خمس جركة خلق كتريقت كإلالك كمو جركم يكمو فتقولوا مش إتبلعها مني ذهب كذا لو تبلعي إتويتر ذهب كذا لو قربا زلو تبلعاني أسمعوه كنت تلفلفلو ننعدكم لا تزاركم لا سحقكم كم جيتكم تأمتوا تايز قبر زلو تايز قرب زلو كم يلكم أسمعوه كمي زعلم حجي I hate to say again حبشة كم سلا زلو كم الكهانو مفكبر الله إذا فيسبوك page ناتكم كأني كم تأنس قبره every 2 weeks password كيرو طعامي توهايلكم أنت password كيرو بو messenger أتيهم هيك دفعوا أتيهم على فيسبوك سم كان خطط له مالنا نخصم مالنا أبكل أتيله so هم راح حسابه مش okay أبزي after park كومتات walk قبل خلهم distance كاني walk قبل خلها music جركا مني بدحري خار لوك always تمت always نقدمي كهر كلها هاني أبقدمي خا مني زلوا كندي distance إن حكاراوت يك هرمتا أنت أخذ تجبر أجرو ديكا شعب بكات خير عتيكا ديكا كجويدات خير أبوها ديكا بلو خلوق تعزبوا مسرقتي مفجر جرجم زبلوا فجر مستيم فجرات اندحر تقوم لهم تفطوهم سلتخونكم أصنعوهم أسيلكم كأني مو قبلوا ساعة كم تأزبالكم last time Hgdef إنحك قريبكم كم زيكم تبوا شيطان أنا خمس أكمل كفطوهم كتشو نايج أنا تحويسو ناي كتشو دي زبال كتشو ناي شيطان حواس لو أنا كم زيهم ab India زلو ab airplane مسهم comfortable تجانيو كم إذا ما تسكا ولا إذا بلاكا كم يوم Hgdef أوي أحد صوبنيهم سهم زيكا فطوم يخا تجانيو مخا مش تأخذ بايا خيال خف كايا خيط عم كايا أصنعيا إذا Hgdef أوي دي هو Hgdef أري عايشت يعني دحين ولا شك إشي خفيلة يخيل دك عادي فتوكم بتعمي I love you thank you for sharing me YouTube subscribe لكم حجة خودة يمسجنوكم بزعبة إريتريا خزار بدلكم بزعبة إريتريا تزارينا be careful what you ask for إريتراوين إريتريان شجرا هون أجمع لأن كنزار بزعبة إريتريا سورة أني 1 مليون حماة زجبرنا ما ننسى فوتي زيهم زدقوا فوقين مسوها الله يسلفوا لكم أملاح كفردوكم سخاي ترسعوا بريك قبل خلوكم أملاح كفردوكم كاي ترسعوا تعجزيخ متسيا شعائنا نفالت شعا سلامتاي حماك قبل خلو تدقوا فونا كخبلو خلو أملاخي أدجي أنيري أي سرحني أملاخي شيطان يا أمن نيري نسبعي معرخة جريو أملاخي جيتا إذا سبعي معرخة جرين أنا رسبك أتلي ندعي جيتا تساوي تلي قالوا إثيوبيين كله أساس فوركس سجيدوا له كم أملاخ كم أخا معرخة جرين أنت أخواني جري عشان أملاخ مو شيطان صنحكا له كي تزارو من الشيطان سلان الشيطان سجن نركب أب planet earth أب عالم حجة عن الشيطان سفر دك أخا أمسخا وصدم سلهم أميركا فتنقق وزعواتي حق نجار تزارو الشيطان يتسكروا أكون ميخومي رزلو الشيطان إسايس يشمو ناتو ديمنز كاني Hgdefings بحالو تتنققوا دوكوهم حاو خاعتو سوكم حاو خاعتو okay with that said I love you دك إيري بزعابة إريتريا تزارينا أهوب تحاقيسكم مش بزعابة إريتريا نحكي قصة دالكم نخاني كم زغ قصة إليه إزاي أتحمم يعجين كومي I love you good night all right Phil